The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
I read this story in Rav Moshe Feinstein's biography, verified story in his official biography put out by ArtScroll. The doctor telling this story is the doctor who was there at the time. At that time, he was not religious. He later became religious, and somebody asked him, what made you become a religious Jew? And he said the following story. He said one time a Jewish patient, an Orthodox Jew, came to him, and unfortunately, the situation was bleak. He was horribly sick. And the doctor told him, this is the story. You basically have a couple of weeks to live. However, we could do a certain procedure, which is painful and difficult. And that procedure will help you live for a few months. So I ask you, he says to his patient, what would you rather? This difficult, painful process, but you'll get a few months of life? Or to live out the next 2 weeks, comfortable and peaceful? So the Jew said, I cannot make that decision on my own. I need to go ask a rabbi. He said, I'm going to go ask my rabbi from many, many years ago, but who was also one of the leaders of the Jewish people, Rav Moshe Feinstein. So the doctor said that he said to the fellow, can I come with you? And that way I could help explain to the rabbi the details of the story. The doctor said, but that wasn't really why he wanted to go. He wanted to go because he wanted to see how will a rabbi address this question. So the fellow said, yeah, sure, come with me. So they arranged, and they went and they met with Rav Moshe Feinstein. And the doctor laid out all the details of the story and the choice that they had in front of them, 2 weeks of comfort or 4 months of difficulty. He said the first thing that struck him is that Rav Moshe, who did not know this Jewish man, he had him as a student many, many years prior, but he did not have a relationship with him. He said the first thing is, he broke down sobbing for 20 minutes crying. 20 minutes crying for a Jew he doesn't know. Because great people have great hearts. And then Rav Moshe said, I need you to come back tomorrow. I cannot make the decision right now. They came back the next day and listened to what Rav Moshe said. Rav Moshe said, I want you to go through with the procedure. Do it. It's painful. It's uncomfortable. I'll give you 4 months. Do it. And the doctor said, but Rabbi, it will only give him 4 months. And Rav Moshe answered, listen to this, my friends. Rav Moshe answered, in 4 months, do you know how many amens a Jew said? Amen is the response we say after a blessing. We have a mitzvah. Halacha says that when someone makes a blessing, you say amen. That means you agree with the blessing. You say, yes, it's true. Rav Moshe says, do you know how many amens a Jew says in 4 months? If you think about it, every time someone says a blessing near you, you say amen. If you go to shul, every time they say a blessing, every time they say Kaddish, you say amen, amen, amen. I want to ask you, guys, did you ever think about the last time you said amen? Could you even recall the last time you said amen? I can't. You know why? It's just like meaningless. It's part of every second. Amen, 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 amen. Do you value it? Did you ever walk out of saying amen and start dancing for joy? No, because you didn't hear the story yet. But now listen to the story. Rav Moshe says, do you know how many amens a person says in 4 months? And every time a person says amen, it creates an angel. And that angel, that malach, is going to go up to heaven and fight on the behalf of the person who created him. He said 4 months of saying amen. Do you know how many angels will be up in heaven fighting for this guy? Who knows what will happen? Sure enough, they did it. And he lived for a number of years afterwards. And the doctor said, it was Rav Moshe Feinstein saying what one amen is. What one moment, it takes you how long to say amen, my friends? Amen. 1 second. Rav Moshe Feinstein revealing What 1 second of life, what one word uttered, what one amen accomplishes. That's when he realized how deep Judaism is. That's when he realized the value of life and real living. And he said, I need to become an observant Jew. I want my peace in this treasure. That's what every one of us needs to realize.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org